Hey everyone, it's your sassy host Alex. Welcome to the Creators Lounge. In this series, I will focus on all things inspirational. The goal is to expand universal light by inspiring listeners to create their very own masterpieces. I hope you enjoy. Hi, it's your girl Alex, and welcome back to another episode of the Creators Lounge. In today's relatable moment, I wanted to talk through something I recently discovered about myself that I'm not necessarily embarrassed to admit, but it's pretty embarrassing. And that is that I get flustered. Okay? Now, first off, you may say to yourself, flustered? What do you mean, Alex, you get flustered? And why do you get flustered, or when do you get flustered? Well, first question, flustered is defined as losing your cool, right? I would describe it as feeling overwhelmed, anxious, excited, and embarrassed all at once, okay? And I've recently discovered this about myself where you kind of get that blah feeling, like, you just want to kind of run somewhere and hide under a rock after a particular experience. Yeah, I know. If you can relate to that, definitely leave me a comment. Okay? What I recently discovered is that I feel this way after I have interacted with a large group of people. Okay? Not only after I've interacted with a large group of people, but I have received positive reinforcements from those people. I know, go figure. I'm trying to work through it. Okay. Recently on my channel, I hosted a Scorpio hangout and it went great. I mean, thank you to all of you who joined me in that Scorpio hangout. It was what I thought was an amazingly positive experience. I got amazing feedback afterwards. It was just a roundabout good day. Man, I got off that call and I could have pulled my extensions out strand by strand, right? Just one by one. I felt so uncomfortable. I felt so exposed. I felt so just raw and naked, right? And what was weird was I didn't know what I was going through. I didn't know why I was feeling those feelings, right? So number one, I was feeling them and I couldn't define them. I couldn't describe them. And then, being that I couldn't define, couldn't describe, I don't even know what triggered them, right? So, yes, after a couple of days went by, I felt the feeling, I felt, happily uneasy. I felt squirmish, you know what I mean? And anything that lingers on for me, I would say over 2 days, right? I'm like, wait a minute, we got to get down to the bottom of this. What is going on? Why do you feel so embarrassed? So I put my investigator hat on and I started peeling back those layers. The first thing that I discovered, right, which a lot of people don't know about me, they don't realize about me, I am incredibly shy. I am incredibly shy, right? Alex, the personality, it's an alter ego. It's like, hey, boo, hey, right? But when I am off alone back in my quiet corner, I'm like, right? So I'm incredibly shy. The other thing people don't realize about me, I am a deep introvert. Some would say bordering on lonerism, right? I don't think that's a word, but we're going to use it right now. I am a loner. I usually keep to myself, right? I probably, how people have a circle of friends? I got like 3 dots. I got 3 dots. That's it. That's all she needs. So yeah, I was flustered after this event. It was an incredibly positive event. I started peeling back the layers and discovered, you're shy, you're introverted. When you put yourself out there, in Front Street, Main Street, in the limelight, it's incredibly uncomfortable for you. So with this being said, I'm like, okay, well, if you're going to continue to do this type of work, girl, you got to work this out. You got to figure out how to offset that feeling when you're feeling it. Now, this is probably the third, the fourth or the fifth attempt of this video that I tried to put out there. The other couple of videos was me breathing, me, igniting that parasympathetic response, the self affirmations, you're all right, you're safe, you're comfortable, everything will be okay. Breathe it in, let it out, be mindful, right? And that's all wonderful and great, 4 days, 4 days later. But will that work, when I am deep into, that flustered feeling? I don't know. I'm just going to have to try, right? But the other thing that I discovered too, aside from like the breathing and trying the parasympathetic responses to calm myself down, is to, understand why. Why do I feel so exposed? Why do I feel raw? Why do I feel so uncomfortable being in the limelight? And y'all know every deep answer to every deep question is childhood. It's always childhood. There was some sort of event, or the way that I was raised, or the way that I was conditioned. I haven't even gotten there yet. But when it comes to, feeling flustered, I think for me, the first and foremost is to ground, right? To just ground, to first and foremost, right? If this is fight, flight, freeze, or anything similar to it, first thing, reinforce safety, right? Ground and you're okay. You're good. That's over. You're not exposed anymore. You're safe. So the breathing is one part, but then again, those affirmations are the second part of it. And something, it's weird because even though I just said those things to myself, you're okay, you're safe. In my solar plexus, I feel safe. I feel grounded. I feel better, right? So maybe that's something that can help any of you who are experiencing these issues too with feeling flustered. But I think when it comes to what I will do going forward, I definitely think it's going to require more investigation, more peeling back those layers, delving into my childhood. Let's hope I don't have any future healing to do. I mean, I am all healed out. I'm done. It's like enough with the healing. Can I get some living going on? But yeah, this is something I'm definitely going to have to investigate further. But do me a favor, for those of you who might have just discovered that you get flustered too, or embarrassed, or if you experience the same thing, please drop me a comment below to let just myself and others know maybe some of the techniques that you use, or if you did peel back the layers and do your investigation, what some of your discoveries were, right? Each one teach one. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this segment. I hope you enjoy the rest of the podcast itself. I have an amazing interview with a mindfulness coach, a coach for nurses specifically. I won't give too much more away, but I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Love you. Bye. My very special guest today is Marivic Paraz of Coaching with Marivic. Marivic, welcome to the Creators Lounge. Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
Alex, thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great and so excited to be part of this.
Cool. Well, thank you. I'm so excited to have you. So tell our listeners a little bit about yourself. What do you do?
Okay, well, a little bit about myself. I'm a nurse by profession. I have been a nurse for 14 years. I've had experience in cardiovascular, nursing, orthopedics, and then the last one was kidney transplant. A coordinator, yeah. So I've dipped into a little bit of everything. But as of recently, as of last year, I've taken a different different route, so to say. So now I've gone on to coaching. I'm a mindset and wellness coach, and I specialize in helping fellow nurses overcome and prevent burnout. And as we all know, since the pandemic, we've had so much, our burnout rates have increased significantly. So I felt that, this was a good niche to get into, which is helping fellow nurses prevent burnout and help them out of it.
Wow. Yeah. So let me ask you, what was it a personal experience because you had suffered from a lot of burnout? I mean, what was the inspiration behind this? Was it personal or did you just see a need in the market, so to speak?
Oh no, definitely it was personal. And I personally went through burnout myself, so this is something close to my heart. And as a nurse, we try to put up a persona that you would have everything under control. And to top it off, as a mom, single mom, we definitely have everything under control, so to say. And so we are so engrossed in our everyday lives, both personal and professional, that we don't really stop to recognize the symptoms of burnout until, unfortunately, you're going through it. If not, you're just at the pit of it. And so that's what happened to me. And it was really a turning point in my life. Just I wanted to still somehow stay within the nursing realm, but at the same time be able to have the freedom of helping everyone else who has gone through what I've gone through.
Yeah, I have to tell you, you nurses are the real healers. No offense to the doctors, but any experience that I've had with any sort of hospitalization or overnight stay, it was the nurses. I have to tell you, yeah, yeah, yeah. The doctors cured the ailments, but you guys are the true healers. So thank you so much for what you do. I so appreciate it. Um, Now let me ask, do you coach only nurses or is it just the general public as well?
No, I'm not limited to nurses. As a matter of fact, when I first started my journey, I actually became a certified nurse coach, but most of my clients were non-nurses. Actually, I take that back. Half of my clients were non-nurses, and which is actually a great thing to do, because I'm just not just limiting myself, but at the same time, realizing that burnout does affect everyone. And I've coached even. I was a little hesitant coaching young adults because, as a mom, I have 3 kids, and they're within the same age, and I really have to separate myself as a mom and just go through the sessions as a coach, which was, it turned out so great because this 22-year-old, uh, initially he was a little bit um, skeptical, because just like a lot of people, they haven't worked with the coaches. And so he goes, I don't know what this is all about. My dad just encouraged me to do this. And he turned out to be one of the most transformative clients I've had. And so as a coach myself, it was really nice to see the changes. So no, definitely I'm not limited to nurses. I did decided to, just pick a niche with nurses and burnout, just because I felt like going through it myself at that time. I didn't have the resources. Yes, there's EOP at work, but sometimes it's really hard for people who are not in the same profession as you are to be able to relate to the actual burnout. I mean, I hate to say it, but I can't tell someone who's never stepped foot on the floor how it feels to watch someone die, and how that, we internalize that. And so it was really important to be able to be of service to, fellow nurses, because there are certain things that only other nurses can relate to.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine what that feels like. And I have to tell you, when you mentioned earlier about, we don't really catch it until we're in it.
Hmm.
Um, I can relate to that 100%. There are times when I have to stop and say to myself, you're stressed out. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But by that time, I'm pretty sure organ in my body has already been zapped by cortisol, and I'm sleep deprived, I'm probably
Yes.
malnutritioned. And so that's amazing. And again, when it comes to nursing and what you guys experience and the long hours and just even dealing with the doctors and staff
Hmm.
and things of that nature. I mean, yeah, if there was an industry that needed any sort of coaching or assistance, or just a shoulder, sometimes it definitely
Yes.
would be nurses. Yeah. So
Yes.
that's amazing. So what are some of the keys or tips that you would give to possible future clients or just listeners, how to identify burnout or what to do, or just some quick tips on what we can do when we're already in it and we have to kind of talk ourselves down or call you.
As simple as it may sound, one of the best tips that I can give is to breathe. We take it for granted, but I tell you, if you take even just 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes to step aside, and just take a couple of deep breaths, it works wonders. And it's funny because we go through nursing school knowing the ins and outs of the physiological effects of what the body, the body's physiological effects, but we don't even take into consideration, just stop, breathe. That's all you need to do. And, just another tip is basically to really take the time, and really, when I say take the time, is actually carve time out of your daily um, out of your daily schedule to implement self-care activities. And we don't do this. Nurses don't do this. I mean, moms don't do this. Just the simple fact of just waking up even 30 minutes before everyone wakes up and just taking that time for mindfulness exercises, breathing. And I got to tell you, I was always one of those people that I can't do yoga. I feel like I have, like I'm being a kid in the corner. I can't sit still. But when I actually took the time to apply, mindfulness, and I like mindfulness and I like it. I think it works well for nurses, especially because it's very practical. You can choose 2, 3, 10 minutes. And, there's so many apps out there like Calm. I'm not getting paid by Calm, but you know, I use it religiously. Or you don't even have to pay apps. You can use YouTube for free mindfulness. Just look it up. But the key is not just implementing it, but implementing it consistently, because it's not as much as it took time to get to that burnout phase. It's also going to take time to get out of it, which means consistently implementing self-care activities. And when I say self-care activities, it's sustainable. Uh, I know I'm gonna get criticized, but shopping is not a self-care activities. I
No.
know we go shopping, retail therapy, but we can't do that's not a
Yeah.
self-care
Yeah.
activity that's
No,
sustainable.
I can relate to that, especially as a spiritual life coach. When I'm trying to teach self-care, or give examples of self-care. And I have to say to people, getting your nails done or getting your hair done,
Yes.
that's grooming. That's not self-care. Right? Now, at the end of
Yeah.
the day, if it makes you feel good, if you feel like an internal calmness or peace or shift, yeah, go for it. But it's a chore, it's a task, right? So I
Oh,
get that completely.
well,
Yeah.
not just that, it becomes expensive. I mean,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
how much can you do your nails or lashes and everything? But of course, I'm all for feeling good about yourself. But and these self-care activities, it doesn't even cost much, if ever. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even cost anything. Just breathing, um, walking, mindfulness walking, and you need to stay active because that lowers the stress.
Yes.
And I'm not saying go full out, go go to the gym and lift 100 pounds weights or anything. Whatever you enjoy, whether it's yoga, Pilates, just find something that you enjoy. Dancing, I love dancing. And so just implementing that in your daily life, it really lessens the stress level.
Yeah. I think consistency is a very, very, very important
Mhm.
lesson, and, a very important call out. not only that, but myself included is, I have to literally remind myself to breathe sometimes. And there's nothing like a little bit of dizziness to remind you. Right. There are some times when I'm creating and I'm sitting there and I'm just in the moment, I'm in the zone, and it's like, breathe, so really, really, really important advice. So tell us what's next? What else do you have? What are you working on?
I tell you, it's exciting. Being an entrepreneur, nurse entrepreneur, you would know as an entrepreneur, you have your highs and your lows, but I've learned not to be fixated on, expectations or outcomes. So I've just had all these different opportunities, and the latest one I'm working on is doing a speaking engagement for nurses, and just to tell them about how to, just what I just said, the practical uses of self-care, or anything to implement to have an ideal work-life balance. And on top of that, on the side note, I mean, on another project I'm working on is, I've always wanted to do my own journal. So a reflective journal is what I'm working on, and as well as a tracker. And so something to that theme, and hopefully it'll be within the next couple months, so I can upload it to Amazon for
Nice.
people to access.
Okay. So this tracker, is this like, maybe something people can write down, how they're feeling, or activity, or exercise, or what they ate? What's in the tracker?
Yes, I'm also gonna do exercise tracker, definitely, water intake, but I also wanted to put things in there that also implements the medical part of medical trackers, such as the important in case if you have blood pressure, hypertension, at least you will have a blood pressure tracker, blood sugar tracker for diabetics, weight, even though we don't want to use that.
Yeah, I'm not writing my numbers down. I'm sorry. I'll keep them right up here. Okay.
And I might finagle a little bit with the numbers too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But so yeah, it'll be, I'm looking at a good mix of the physical tracking, as well as the mental tracking, because we want to hit this from a holistic level, and also spiritual. So it's fun, it's a good project to have, different change of scenery from a nursing perspective.
Yeah. Well, thank God for our nurses, I have to tell you. Thank God for our nurses.
Thank you so much. It's a thankless job, but you know what? We love it. And you could tell it shows, because we bend over backwards for our patients. And I always have that mentality of, I'm pretending that I'm taking care of my family member. How would my family member want to be taken care of?
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Hopefully you love your family.
Right?
Right. That part.
It depends on what day you ask me.
I'm so there with you. Well, thank you so much for joining me today on the Creators Lounge. I wish you nothing but success. You're awesome.
Thank you so much, Alex, for this great opportunity. And I can't wait to hear about all your new endeavors as well.
Thank you. Okay, guys, if you are interested in receiving Coaching by Marivic, hit her up on her website at coachingbymarivic.com, and the information will be located in the description box of this video. Thanks.
Thank you.
On today's inspirational nugget, we talk about insurmountable mountains. Insurmountable mountains are those things that you perceive as being greater than you. Those things that make you feel small and helpless, sometimes even hopeless, as in your David to their Goliath. Perception isn't always reality. Just as small doesn't always mean powerless. Two small examples, the faith of a mustard seed or the Big Bang. Nope, size doesn't matter. As a small matter of fact, the best way to conquer any insurmountable mountain is to take a step-by-step approach. Yep, you guessed it, baby steps. Just think about when you were a toddler learning how to walk. In the beginning, you fell down more times than you landed on your feet. But with patience and perseverance, you did it. I mean, look at you today. Time, planning, consistency, discipline, and boatloads of patience are the key ingredients needed for any success. Being in your right mind never hurt anybody either. This is an essential part of success, believing in yourself. Believing in yourself is like the fuel that sends a rocket ship to the moon and beyond. One small example, the placebo effect. Yep, a positive mind works wonders. So the next time you think about the insurmountable mountains in your life, just remember, belief plus action creates success as a matter of perceiving. This has been your inspirational nugget. Take care and be well.